All right, welcome once again, and thank you for joining me. My name is Cameron Dunlap. I am your host. You know me from www.camerondirect.com, a free resource for creative real estate entrepreneurs. And you also know me from www.findtheseller.com, where finally you'll run circles around your competition doing deals on houses they can't touch because only you can find the seller. I'm thrilled you've taken the time to join me tonight. My subject, as you know, is vacant house gold, the fastest and easiest money in real estate. And I do hope you have a pen and paper out and you're ready to take a lot of notes, because my goal here tonight is to teach you how to literally turn vacant houses into paychecks very, very easily and very, very quickly, without repairs, without funding, without hassles. That's what this is all about. Now, let's face it, when we turn vacant houses into paychecks, they aren't going to be the biggest paychecks we get in real estate, but they will be some of the fastest and certainly the easiest you'll ever get. And I'm here to tell you that if you'll do what I'm going to teach you here tonight, once a month, your income needs will probably be covered. Twice a month, you can start living like a king. 4 or 5 or 8 or 10 times a month, and you'll be rich. It's up to you. Perhaps your goal is just to supplement your income. Perhaps your goal is to quit your job. Perhaps your goal is to become wildly wealthy through real estate. Any of those goals can be met with just vacant houses. This is a niche area that I hope all of you will focus on to some degree in your business, because I know the power and the effect it can have. I'm really excited. All right, we're ready to go. Let's face it. Some of the most profitable deals you'll do on ugly or pretty houses will be on vacant houses with no for sale signs. Again, vacant houses with no for sale signs. The reason being is because there's no competition. All right, let's take a look at your market as it is today. And I don't care where you live, what part of the country you're in, whether your market is still steaming along or whether it's slowed down, it matters not. There are some very important parts of your market to focus on. All right, we've got MLS listed properties. Those are properties that are listed with realtors in the MLS, which is a big giant database that we have everywhere. And then there's FSBO, which stands for sale by owner. And then there's those vacant houses, again, with no for sale signs. Well, where do you think the inventory is? Naturally, it's on the left side of the scale in the MLS. Now, if you happen to live in, say, Atlanta, Georgia, I was there not too long ago, and there's a big old billboard on the side of the main highway going through town there that shows you, it's one of those electronic billboards that somebody can change from a remote location. It shows you how many active listings there are in the greater Atlanta area, meaning houses that are available for sale in the MLS. And when I was there last, it showed 96,000 houses. That's in Atlanta. Atlanta's not a really huge town, and it's not a small town, but it's an example. 96,000 houses available in the MLS in that market. Okay, now that is some serious inventory. As you move to the right of the scale, there's less inventory for sure. Well, where do you suppose the competition is in your market? Certainly it's where the inventory is, and it's where the $9 books teach people to look for deals, and that's on the left side of the scale. There's far less competition as you move to the right side of the scale, because there's less and less marketing going on. All right, the MLS is available to every realtor within its area, and therefore to every client as well. Well, houses that are for sale by owner, depending on how well the owner's advertising it, may not be available to everybody. And those vacant houses with no for sale signs, well, let's face it, nobody knows about them except you, and that's the purpose of tonight's presentation. Where's the opportunity? Well, as you might expect, it's on the opposite side of the scale where everything else is. The opportunity is on the right, on those vacant houses with no for sale signs. Now, don't get me wrong, there is opportunity for deals in the MLS and for sale by owner, certainly. But the scale is definitely weighted as far as opportunity to the right side, the vacant houses. And why is there so much opportunity there? Because there's so little competition, and because there's very little inventory. Now, you might say, well, how does little inventory create opportunity? Well, little relative to the MLS. The biggest point here, though, being that the competition is over on the left. You are over on the right. We're going to be contrarian thinkers. We let the sheep go in one direction, we head in the other. That's the whole point here. And I don't care, again, what type of a market you're looking at. Up, down, sideways, matters not. This always works. Always, always works. Been doing this for 14 years. Done it in up markets, down markets, dead sideways markets, you name it, it always works. Vacant houses with no for sale signs on them always work. All right. Now, another thing to make a note of is that, and I've already mentioned that some of the most profitable deals you'll do, ugly or pretty, are on vacant houses with no for sale sign. That we've established. But as a rule, the harder the seller is to find, the more profitable the deal. Now, you might say, well, wait, why is that? Well, the harder the seller is to find, the less competition there is. The easier that seller is to find, the more likely you and someone else may be talking to that seller. The harder they are to find, the less likely that is to be the case. And we're going to focus on digging up those sellers so that you can do deals on houses that your competition can't touch. Now, there are 5 steps to steady cash income from vacant houses. All right, now here's where I want you to get your pen and paper out, and I want you to make sure that you jot these down. Step 1, spot them. You got to spot the vacant houses. And we'll talk all about how to do that. I'm going to give you the 5 steps, and then we're going to go back and go through each one of those 5 slowly so that you get good at all of them. All right, so step 1 is to spot or locate the vacant houses. Step 2 is to find the seller. We've got to locate the owner in order to make them an offer, buy their house. Step 3, strike a deal with the seller. So we'll do some negotiating. Step 4, flip the house to another investor. And this is really important because when we do this, when we utilize this strategy, you're not going to fund any of these deals. There's no banks, there's no hard money lenders, there's no private lenders, there's no funding going on whatsoever. In fact, what's important about this strategy is all you need is between $10 and $100 for an earnest money deposit for each house. That's the most you'll risk on any one deal. The most you'll risk is $100, and I hope it's actually less. We'll talk more about that later. When we flip this to another investor, we aren't funding it, we aren't fixing it. That's another good point. We're not going to be dealing with contractors, handymen, dumpsters, backhoes, that sort of thing. We're just not going to touch the house. We're going to leave it as is, and that's a beautiful part of it. Then what we're going to do is repeat the process over and over again. That's how we create steady cash income. Again, if you want to do this once a month, your cash income needs will likely be met. If you want to do this 2, 3, 4, 5 times a month, you'll live like a king. You want to do this 5 to 10 times, you will be rich in no time flat. All right?